Hi, I'm Raquel from Bangladesh. Nice to meet you. How are
Hello,
you?
nice to meet you, Raquel.
Nice
Yeah.
to meet you too, Raquel.
Well, my first question is about the big revelation of the season finale of Danny and Lisa first meeting. It was a shock. So, how did you come to this idea in the first place?
Do you mean the idea that that was how they met?
Yes.
Yes, well,
That's a good question, isn't it? We definitely felt that, we needed to answer that question in the series. And normally you'd answer that question sort of at the top, really, is how do these people know each other? Why are they talking to each other? How did these two random people completely sort of, how do they get to know each other? So we felt that question definitely needed answering. And then sort of came up with the idea that we won't answer it until the end. And the twist would be that Antonia's character, Lisa, would be actually almost to blame for his situation. And we thought that was a nice twist and realised that we couldn't tell that story until the end. But they were more entwined than you would have first thought. That she's culpable actually. She plays a very big part in the fact that he now can't leave his flat. So we sort of stumbled on that, didn't we, when it was sort of sitting with the writers. But that was very much the big decision was when do we tell that story? And we thought, yeah, let's hold it to the end. Let's hold it to when they first met, and then everything will sort of then be explained.
yes, I think so. And I think, there was a definite sense, and I hope people will get through the course of the series that there are small revelations about the nature of their friendship that crop up in every episode in a way. So our understanding of the way their friendship works develops over the course of every episode. Each episode has something new to add to that, and then it absolutely felt the most appropriate to actually to activate the story in the now at the end of the series by having her reveal this secret that she feels she can't keep from him any longer, because she has for the last 3 years carried around with her this idea that she knows she is in some way responsible for the fact that he is trapped in his flat.
Okay. Well, why do you think Lisa didn't tell the truth to Danny instead she steals the ring?
Yeah, I think it's a very awkward thing to admit. And I think also it's awkward for two reasons. One, just because it's a transgressional thing to do, is to nick someone's ring and do that. And I think that she's not really clear, really, when it comes down to it, what her motives really were. And, she's only met him at the wedding for what, an hour? 2 hours? They're getting on like a house on fire. Was she jealous? Was she really trying to save him? Or was there something a little bit more going on there? And I think, anyone who found themselves in that situation, and then in her situation with Veggie and her daughter, very hard to then admit to herself, even, that she might have done it out of jealousy and, wanted to keep him on the market. It's a bit of a, it's a dark move on her part. And part of it is, yes, she might have been trying to save him from embarrassing himself, but that's not entirely probably the case, if she was strictly honest. So I think she sat on it for a long time. It's not an easy or an admirable thing to admit, I think. So yeah, I think that's her conundrum in many ways. The nice thing about both characters, I think, is that they're not perfect. They're like all of us. They have strengths and weaknesses, and the positives and negatives. And it's also a series that is about people who make mistakes. There are no villains, out and out villains. There's no one who's really, a dark-hearted villain. it's just full of people trying to do the right thing and often stumbling, which feels more like real life. You know, I think we're all goodies in our own narrative. We're all the good guys in our own narrative, but I'm sure in other people's narratives, we're not the goodie. We're the villain or the thing. You know, even if we don't intend to be. And I think that relationship between them, we hope, reflects that. Yeah.
Okay, that's an awesome answer. Well, at the end of the episode, it left us broken heart for my part. So we need hope. What do you think is the future for Danny and Lisa?
That's a very good question. We would speculate, wouldn't we, Arabella, on that one?
Yes.
We couldn't go too deep. I mean, I think, you know, we leave them in a very touching place, really. I mean, his disappointment that Veggie has come back is palpable. He's sort of broken-hearted, I think, and I think that she's conflicted, and I think, you know, well, as I say, we'd love to do another series and to answer that question in full, but I think, you know, they are there for each other. What do you think, Arabella?
I think that it's true. She's being completely honest when she says, I don't know what to think right now.
Yeah.
And that certainly is where we wanted to leave it, with the sense that at this junction that she has two, you know, she has two, in fact possibly multiple options in front of her. She has had this experience with Veggie where through the course of episode 7 and episode 8 he has been more emotionally articulate than he's possibly ever been in their relationship, and clearly that changes the way she feels about him. Not necessarily, not only that maybe there is more to him than she had thought there was before, there is that, but there's also the fact that just because he has become more articulate, it doesn't also make him automatically more right for her. And now she has this experience with Danny where she realizes that that effectively him coming to make some kind of declaration to her, and in the end it's a platonic declaration, is something that motivated him well enough to give him the courage to leave the house, to get rid of all the other anxiety in his house, and for him that exists for him in the house, and for him to come out to see her for real physically. And I think there are a lot of questions in her mind, and it's certainly not straightforward what would happen next. But I think there's a really significant thing in that Danny has left his home, and it's having been trapped in his home for all those episodes. He is outside, and that in itself is not, it's not the solution. It's not fixed, but it's a step into living in a different way, possibly for him. So hopefully it's socially exciting for both of them, as well as relationship challenging.
Yeah, and of course, ironically, it's Danny sort of helps Veggie make an attempt at saying something heartfelt to Lisa. You know, Danny's sort of also the architect of his own, not defeat, but, you know, sort of situation, by doing the decent thing and trying to help Veggie explain, you know, the song, the mirror, you know, the Velvet Underground song, and so, you know, and again, it's everyone sort of actually doing the right thing, but it sort of leads to people's lives being tied up in knots. Danny also has a partner. He has a partner now as well. So they've both got partners. So we've left them even, you know, things are more complicated in some ways than they were when we first met them.
Okay. Wow, that was awesome. I love your point of view of that scene. And well, my next question is there any hope for season 2, and what we can expect from it? apart from Danny and Lisa, what can expect in general from season 2?
Season 2. If we got the chance to make a season 2, and as I say, it's not confirmed, but we'd love to do it. I think we'd see a little bit more of their lives. We'd spread the net a little bit further and perhaps meet some other people that are in their lives. So I think that would be part of the ambition. But
yes,
also,
I think there's been a great, through the course of those episodes, there is a really nice ensemble developing there, and that was definitely the intention, that we get to the end of this first series and you feel that their world is populated by other people that you also want to spend more time with. And Amy and Adam particularly and Veggie are very strong parts of this ensemble, and I think we'd all hope that the next time round those characters are just as much a part of the development of Lisa and Danny as Lisa and Danny are themselves. And there's I hope everyone has also been enjoying our kind of guest characters of the week qualities to it, when there've been sort of set piece characters who've joined us just for one episode. I hope we would get a chance to do more of that, because there's a great way to provoke and kind of tease more comedy out of our lead characters by using those guests, and I hope people feel that that's been a successful part of this series.
Okay, crossing fingers for a season 2. My last question is an easy question for me. Team Danny or Team Virgie?
Team Danny or Team Veggie? Oh, that's really hard.
That's very hard. I'd say, do you know what? I would say both at different times. I think sometimes you're rooting for Danny, and sometimes, yeah, my heart goes out to Veggie, because he's not a bad guy. He's just not good with emotions and words. He's a good partner to Lisa in so many ways, but they're both aware, really, in their heart of hearts, that the chemistry is not quite there. And I think that's, we go back right to the first episode. Veggie's 52% match for Lisa. Danny's 92% match, if I remember rightly, or 91% match. So, I think, in a way, you want a happy ending for all of them, really, because they're, as I say, no one's undeserving. But somehow, if there was a world where Danny and Lisa could get together and no one else gets hurt, that would be ideal. But I don't think anyone lives in that world, not even Danny and Lisa.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we are to, if going forward, if we were to be true to who these people are, then nobody, as Phil says, nobody is going to escape with an entirely smooth ride through it, and if they did, that would not be real or exciting or funny. And I think, I hope everyone realizes, and I certainly feel, that there are fun qualities to Veggie that just need to be matched with the right person. Now, who is to say that Lisa won't decide that she is the right person for that, or that she wants to make another go of that? She might. But in terms of the sort of Team Veggie or Team Danny thing, as characters, I think they're both really, really fun to watch, and they are engaging, and they make for a very moving, emotional viewing experience, both of them. And I think it doesn't work without both of them as a show. That's what it is, and it's an exploration of Lisa plus Danny plus Veggie. It might be an exploration of Danny plus Amy plus Lisa. You don't know. That's all to play for.
Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure. And can't wait to everyone to see this episode, because it's amazing. And I am excited for season 2, and crossing fingers.
Thank you, Raquel.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you.